All right. So, hello everyone that's listening to this. I'll show you guys on YouTube, which is where I put this after I record it live on Zoom. And hope you enjoy it. Let's see. Well, I always like to start with this little body mind centering. If I do by rubbing my hands together and until they get warm, and then putting them over my eyes. You can either join me or not, doesn't matter. A couple more times. All right.
I see it's still December at your house.
Oh, it's always December here. So it's like what's that movie?
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Always December here. I have January on the other wall. I could move it, but
You just like to drive me a little crazy, that's all.
I know you always notice those things.
hmm
It's a good thing you can't see the rest of my messy room.
Um, Usually people who are creative are messy, so it's okay.
Yeah, I figure it's comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Just so you know that I do have my January. There it is.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
I bought one mushrooms. Real
Right.
regular mushrooms, not magic ones. Well, let's see. I've not been in a real poetry writing mood. I scratched at one today. I don't know if it's any good or anything, but I'll just read it for the heck of it. An old black man and a young black girl talking at the cafe. A train from the past moves slowly, from cotton fields to computers. We can all still smile. Train stops on the tracks. Smoke obscures time. There is only now. But that's all I wrote this week. So let's see what else I do. Oh, I usually go to my books. Okay.
I love how the colors of your book match the colors of your sweater. Or at
Oh,
least on my computer, they seem to.
a little bit. A little bit. I was gonna read that. No, I don't want to read that. Right. Getting tired of my poetry. I got a new poetry book coming out, but my editor's taking forever. Anything I haven't read recently? I think I read that one last time. I'll read this one. It's a certain beach north of here that I've written a lot of poems at by looking at what's going on around me. This one is called End of Day. The end of a warm day at beach. The wind picks up. I sit in the calm below yellow cliffs. Their rippling layers like ancient eyes of time. I can see a long stretch of beach from parking lot to misty mountains to the north. On a berm of sand pushed up by the pounding surf, a man, his pregnant wife, and a little dog sit on a blanket looking out to horizon. He walks toward the waves. The little dog on absurdly short legs runs after him. The man picks him up over his head as water covers his feet. They return to the woman and they get ready to go. Just before leaving, they kiss, and with that background of ocean and setting sun, it's like the end of a romantic movie. Two Asian girls walk in front of me. One carries a baby in a front harness. I imagine the baby reassured both by mother's heartbeat and the rhythm of the waves. They sit down to watch the sunset. The mother holds the baby in front of her like it was a doll. They each have long black hair like seals. That's my favorite line of this poem. Walking back to my car, I see a young man beating a drum. Next to him, a woman in flowing clothes is dancing. I sense they are trying to find happiness or meaning. I remember a tropical beach, walking there with my love. I sigh like a spray of ocean water. Next to my car is an old van. A little white chihuahua looks plaintively at me from the front seat. When I go near, he barks and bares his teeth at me. I get in my car. The dog's owner returns, an old lady in faded blue jeans wearing a man's plaid shirt. The van is full of stuff. Maybe they live there, I think. Her and her little dog, who is happily jumping on her lap. The sun is setting. It makes a ring where it settles into the sea, like a chalice receiving the orange light. I could think now about the ending of the light, about the time of my life running out. But right now my heart relaxes, and I feel in me the light entering the ocean, which is my body.
Great.
I don't know what all those little vignettes had to do with each other, but no, actually this is from that same beach. Maybe I just do all the beach poems. It's called Three Women. A flock of white and gray seagulls sit on the beach looking out to sea. Then suddenly, from some common impulse, they all take off. They fly toward the ocean, then turn en masse. Now they fly in all directions, as if time for play or individual desires. Then they settle down together in the same place they were originally. A car drives up beside me. Three women exit. They take pictures with the ocean as a backdrop. Mother and daughter, mother and her mother, grandmother and granddaughter. They begin putting on coats. It's cold here on this foggy beach. The mother, perhaps because she's in the middle, fusses and organizes. The daughter finishes first and begins looking at her phone. The grandmother moves slowly as she puts a scarf over her head. She looks like those black and white photos we see of long ago Europe. Times of poverty and war, of places like the Pale of Settlement. They walk down to the beach. The daughter finds the best way down. Once on the beach, mother and grandmother walk alone into the past. The daughter sits and looks at today on her phone. The seagulls have flown out toward the horizon again. They circle in the timeless air. The three women climb back to the parking lot. A raven that's been sitting on a fence flies high into the air, then begins hovering on the wind. The daughter takes a picture of it. A snapshot of the time the three generations of this family visited the beach. I watch the seagulls settle again. I look up to where the raven looks out over everything. I become grateful for family and memories, and most of all, those moments when I can look down like the raven and see it all at once. Okay. I wonder if there's a beach poem in this book. I'm not sure.
That poem makes me think of my mother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it
She
was.
she, wo- she wore those headscarves on her head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mine
Yeah.
did too, when I was a child.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was quite a little thing to just watch those three women. I mean, I assume they were all grandmother, mother, and granddaughter. They look like it. Okay, well, here's one from that same beach. Let's see, 68. Called Winter Waves. Today, the wild winter waves storm farther up the beach than normal. Running from one surge, I collapse in sand, laughing. The gulls stand impassively, while the little sanderlings hide comically behind a small branch. But it's all perspective and point of view. When I turn and walk into the wind, my cheeks become numb with cold. In the larger sense, the place I humbly inhabit in nature, I became like the elk munching on lush grass, not worrying about tomorrow, the brownness of summer. Past and future ease out of my view. What's right in front of me is what is, and besides, I've real waves to watch out for.
Mm.
And let's see if there's a beach poem in this one. Maybe. There's one called The Seagull. I don't even know what that is. Maybe that's from that beach. Seagull 100. No, that's not from that beach. Let's see. Oh, I know what's from that beach. My buzzard one. Mm-hmm. Oh, heck. I'll read this one. This is not at the beach, it's at the bay, but okay. With the wind jellyfish. Thousands of with the wind jellyfish have washed up on the beach. They're like little tiny jellyfish with a little fin on top, almost like a sail. Oh, where have your little sails taken you? On the slightly curved horizon, red sun is sinking. Walking back to Great Highway, I smell the black and white skunk before I see him. Lying by side a road of his last road, probably killed last night, in dark he thought was safe. Your smell did not deter the cars now speeding toward me with angry headlights. I can read the signs. They say walk or don't walk. Do I know the safe way home? The first stars twinkle in sky. In my vision, if my vision expands there, then my world grows. Understands dark earth of death and eternal mystery of life. The road home is illumined by that lighthouse, shining across the seas of our origin. Okay.
Hmm.
That's actually from the beach. That's in San Francisco. Alrighty. So let's see. Glenda, you must have sent me something. Okay, I don't
Well,
see it. I don't see a
doesn't
title.
matter. There's one called Cold Survival that is rhyming. I think I sent that to you.
The one I see is I sat in my lonely rocking chair.
Oh, okay. That's about the fairy. Yeah, that's a different one, but that's a good one.
That's the one I seem to have here. I'll read that. This is a poem by Glenda Reed. I sat in my lonely rocking chair when she first ambled by. We spoke of birds and books and words. 'Twas a teardrop in her eye. She forgave my list of all done wrong. The list was hard to hear. Then she clapped her hands and twirled round and kissed me on the ear. This is a rhyming one. She told me life will ebb and flow. She told me to take care that all the ones upon that list would know we'd spoken there. Could I but have but one more day to laugh, to smile and laugh and dance, would I traipse down the path of stars? Should a rocking chair appear? I vowed to try my best for her, this fairy come to me, though my past been one of rocks, not stars, nor enchanted such as she. Did I dare just one more time to fly above the rain? She told me just to take a step, and the world would come to me. She left me there in my rocking chair, alone in my reverie, promised to return each day to paint across the moon that life is like a candle's wick, both wavering and burning bright, to shine upon the souls we've lost and bring them to light. Love as always, Glenda.
Thank you.
I wish I had a fairy that came every day. Well, let me see. You know, Ellen sent me something. Let me read her. Ellen sent me a little. Well, I sent Ellen a picture of me eating some kind of like pumpkin stuff, and she sent me a picture of a chocolate cake, and she wrote a little poem here.
Oh, cool.
This is by Ellen Seta Tukaki. Is that how you say your name? I forget.
I wouldn't know. I'm anonymous.
Oh yeah, you're the anonymous poet day. Oh, my PCC chocolate and whipped cream pie. In these times is the rational reason why, while the whole world round me is going to hell, I sit grinning and feeling a semblance of well. Oh, you rhymed that one too. And then she sent me a little. This isn't a doggerel. What is this? This is a. I forget what it's called.
Limerick.
A limerick. Yeah, she sent me a limerick. There was once a man from El Cerrito who got double of all he would eat-o. Pumpkin bars went on sale, and he, hearty and hale, said, I'm happier than a mosquito. Okay. I should write some limericks. There's a certain format for a limerick, isn't there?
They're addictive. I have a collection called Hazardous Limericks.
Yeah. Maybe I'll write a limerick for next time. Let's see. Hey, Glenda, have you ever you want to write a limerick too?
I'm not very good at that, but I could try.
They're usually about some guy from Nantucket, aren't they?
Yeah, that's just exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, well, I guess it's time to. Oh, it's getting time. I'll read a few things. Got this book I like. It's by A Book of Luminous Things by, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Shiswa Milos. He was a winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature. But this is an anthology he edited. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he's got a whole section on like trains I was reading. This is by Rolf Jacobson, who he might be Swedish or he might be Norwegian, I'm not sure. Called Express Train. Express Train 1256 races alongside hidden remote villages. House after house wanders by, pale gray, shivering. Rail fences, rocks and lakes, and the closed gates. Then I have to think in the morning twilight, what would happen if someone could release the loneliness of those hearts? People live there. No one can see them. They walk across rooms in behind the doors. They need, blank-eyed, hardened by love they cannot give, and no one gets a chance to give them. What would rise higher here than the mountains? These Scarvang hills. What flame, what force, what storms of steady light. Express train 1256. 8 soot-black cars turns toward new, endlessly unknown villages. Springs of light behind the panes, unseen wells of power along the mountains. These we travel past, hurry past, only 4 minutes late for Marnardal. Well, that poem was bleakly Scandinavian. There's another one. This is by Machado. Let's see what the Spaniards say. Rainbow at night. The train moves through the Guadarrama. Those are like mountains, I think. One night on the way to Madrid. The moon and the fog create high up a rainbow. Oh, April moon, so calm, driving up the white clouds. The mother holds her boy sleeping on her lap. The boy sleeps and nevertheless sees the green fields outside and trees lit up by sun and the golden butterflies. The mother, her forehead dark, between a day gone and a day to come, sees a fire nearly out and an oven with spiders. There's a traveler mad with grief, no doubt seeing odd things. He talks to himself, and when he looks, wipes us out with his look. That's another sad one. I remember fields under snow and pine trees of other mountains, and you, Lord, through whom we all have eyes and who sees souls, tell us if we all one day will see your face. There's another one by William Stafford. Vacation. One scene as I bow to pour her coffee. 3 Indians in the scouring drought huddle at the grave scooped in the gravel, lean to the wind as our train goes by. Someone is gone. There is dust on everything in Nevada. I pour the cream. Now, Stafford was a Native American, so he has a right to say Indians, probably. Okay. Here's some more train ones. Maybe I'll get a jolly one here. Let's see. Maybe, I don't know. Trains are always kind of a metaphor. They're a little bit sad, aren't they? Like
Yeah.
trains kind of going by and something wistful about them. This is by a gentleman named John Haynes. I don't know. The train stops at Healy Fork. We press our faces against the freezing glass, saw the red soil mixed with snow and a strand of barbed wire. A line of boxcars stood open on a siding, their doorways briefly afire in the sunset. We saw the scattered iron and timber of the campsite, the coal seam in the river bluff, the twilight green of the icefall. But the coppery tribesmen we looked for had vanished. The children of wind and shadow gone off with their rags and hunger to the blue edge of night. Our train began to move, bearing north, sounding its hoarse whistle in the starry gloom of the canyon. Well, I guess all the train poems are just going to be a little melancholy. Here's one more. Let's see what happens here. By Bronislaw Maj. It was Polish. Let's see. Titled Seen Fleetingly from a Train. Seen fleetingly from a train, a foggy evening, strands of smoke hanging immobile over fields. The human blackness of earth, the sun almost set, against us its fading shield. Far away, 2 dots, women in dark wraps, coming back from church perhaps. Perhaps one tells something to another, some common story of sinful lives perhaps. Her words distinct and simple, but out of them one could create everything. Again, keep it in memory forever. The sun plowed earth, women, love, evening, those few words, good for a beginning. Keep it all. Perhaps tomorrow we will be somewhere else, all together. Okay. Well, this one looks a little cheerier. But this is also about a journey. I don't know if it's by train or not. Called A Journey by Edward Field. When he got up that morning, everything was different. He enjoyed the bright spring day, but he did not realize it exactly. He just enjoyed it. And walking down the street to the railroad station, past magnolia trees with dying flowers like old socks. It was a long time since he had breathed so simply. Tears filled his eyes, and it felt good. But he held them back, because men didn't walk around crying in that town. Waiting on the platform at the station, the fear came over him. The fear came over him of something terrible. Another one. Something terrible about to happen. The train was late, and he recited the alphabet to keep hold. And in its time it came screeching in. And as it went on making its usual stops, people coming and going, telephone poles passing, he hid his head behind a newspaper, no longer able to hold back the sobs, and willed his eyes to follow the rational weavings of the seat fabric. He didn't do anything violent as he had imagined. He cried for a long time, but when he finally quieted down, a place in him that had been closed like a fist was open. And at the end of the ride, he stood up and got off that train. And through the streets and in all the places he lived in later on, he walked himself at last, a man among men, with such radiance that everyone looked up and wondered. That was a little bit nicer ending.
I think that captures something important.
Yeah, well, I guess men should cry more, huh?
The opening.
Yeah. No, that was good. I didn't remember to see who that was. Edward Field? I never heard of it. Well, it's getting a little late here. I'm going to read some Mary Oliver and sign off. Let's see. Let's see. I don't think she has any train ones. Here's one called Can You Imagine? For example, what the trees do, not only in lightning storms, or the watery dark of a summer night, or under the white nets of winter, but now and now and now, whenever we're not looking. Surely you can't imagine they just stand there looking the way they look when we're looking. Surely you can't imagine they don't dance from the root up, wishing to travel a little, not cramped so much as wanting a better view or more sun or just as avidly more shade. Surely you can't imagine they just stand there loving every minute of it. The birds or the emptiness, the dark rings of the years slowly and without a sound, thickening, and nothing different unless the wind, and then only its own mood, comes to visit. Surely you can't imagine patience and happiness like that. All right, one more. Softest of mornings. Softest of mornings, hello. And what will you do today, I wonder, to my heart? And how much honey can the heart stand? I wonder before it must break. This is trivial or nothing, a snail climbing a trellis of leaves and the blue trumpets of its flowers. No doubt clocks are ticking loudly all over the world. I don't hear them. The snail's pale horns extend and wave this way and that, as her finger body shuffles forward, leaving behind the silvery path of her slime. Oh, the snail, okay. Oh, softest of mornings, how shall I break this? How shall I move away from the snail and the flowers? How shall I go on with my introspective and ambitious life? All righty. Okay, guys, I think our time is up for today. I'm glad
Thank you, John.
all came. And great. Hope you all have a lovely
Week.
week. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Thanks for the heart, Ellen. All right. You guys all have a great time.
You too. Stay safe.
Yeah. It's actually getting sunny out here in California. Sunny and cold.
Extremely cold here.
Oh, I bet, yeah. Like in the Midwest, huh?
Mm.
Okay, guys, have a lovely week. I'll see you next week, Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.